Here of a comparison, Sly is currently in the 120 kilogram range. So Saturday is one of our smaller seals. She is one of our resident rescue seals as well. Saturday was actually found down south with an impact injury to her eye. She was brought into SeaWorld on the Gold Coast when she was rescued with the intention to rehabilitate and re-release her back out into the wild. But unfortunately, her eye was unsavable. A specialist flew all the way down from the United States to check out Saturday's eye, and unfortunately was deemed in her best interest to have this eye completely removed. And as a result of this, she was deemed unsuitable for release by the Queensland government and moved down to us here at SeaLife on the Sunshine Coast, where she is a great ambassador for her species. And I did say Saturday is a female long-nosed fur seal, and she's coming out with one of her trainers, Dylan, today to show you the amazing features of these incredible animals. So you've already see that Saturday is up on her station here, and you can see that missing eye as she gives you a lovely wave hello. And being a long-nosed fur seal, Saturday is part of a seal family called the Otaridae family. More simply, this is known as the eared seal. And the reason that these guys are known as the eared seals is due to this external ear flap that can be seen on the sides of their head. This does compare to the true seals that you'd find on the ice and the snow that just have little pinholes on the sides of their heads that they have as ears instead. Saturday, also being part of the eared seal family, has some beautiful big front flippers that she uses to propel herself through the water, as well as some smaller rear flippers that she uses to make turns and take corners throughout the water as well. She's even got some little nails on those back flippers there as well, which she can use to scratch and groom her double layer fur coat, and even a tiny little tail in between those flippers there as well. Here's Saturday showing off those beautiful flippers for you. And of course, Saturday being a fur seal has a beautiful double layer fur coat. We do house a sea lion in our care. She just has that one layer of fur and relies more heavily on blubber to keep her warm. But Saturday has these two very dense, thick layers of fur that actually deem her to be the second densest fur coat in the whole animal kingdom, second only to the seawater. And you can see just how able Saturday is in moving across the land. As part of being an Otaridae seal, she does have a rotating hip joint, whereas those true seals that I talked about on the ice and the snow, they have a fused hip and pelvic joint. So their movement on land is not quite as easy as these beautiful seals here that we house at SeaLife. Because all 7 seals that are residents here at SeaLife are all part of the eared seal family. And it looks like Saturday is going to show off a behaviour here known as sailing. And basically sailing is a way that Saturday can cool down on a hot summer's day. Having those two very dense layers of fur, Saturday needs a way that she can cool herself down when it gets a little bit warm. On her flippers, she doesn't have as much hair as she does on the rest of her body, so she can pop these flippers up into the breeze, into the beautiful sea breeze, and it will cool down her blood, which she can then selectively circulate around her body, cooling down her overall body temperature. And you may notice as Dylan and Debbie, who will be coming out shortly, as they do these training sessions with our beautiful seals, you'll notice the use of a whistle throughout these sessions. And this whistle is known as a bridge. The whistle is blown at the exact moment of the completion of the correct behaviour that's being asked by the trainer, so the seal knows exactly when they've completed that correct behaviour. As a result, from here, we're able to take our time and reach into that hip pouch to provide that really important reinforcement. And it looks like Saturday's going to show us one of her newest behaviours here, which is a flipper stand. So Saturday and her other counterparts here at Seal Island are super strong in their shoulder and chest region. So this is a really great behaviour to show off the abilities of these seals, but also a really great way that we can take care of these animals whilst they're in our care to ensure that we're keeping them in their top physical condition here at SeaLife. And it looks like Saturday is going to head off behind the scenes. See you later, Dylan. And we're next going to be They're members of the same species, they're all girls, they're absolute best friends as a result. So Moana is going to come out, she's just a couple kilos smaller than Saturday. She looks absolutely tiny, but she is a fully grown adult seal. As I said earlier, it's completely normal for the females to be 3 to 4 times smaller than the males. But Moana is another one of our resident rescue seals here at SeaLife as well. And actually, all 3 seals that you'll be meeting here this afternoon are rescue seals that were rescued as a result of eye injuries. You'll notice when Moana comes out to join us here in the main exhibit that she actually does still have both eyes intact, but you may even see her swimming around during her free time with one of her eyes closed. She had an injury to her eye. The specialist that came out to check her out though deemed that her eye was still in working order, was still just a little bit. A great ambassador for her species here at SeaLife as well. Hello Moana. Is out here to show you some of the most important behaviours that are trained in our animals in our care. When a seal first comes to join us here at SeaLife, the top priority is ensuring that they're trained in medical and husbandry behaviours, and this ensures that they can voluntarily participate in their own healthcare. This means that it's not only less stressful for us as trainers, but it's much less stressful for these seals as they're able to participate, make their own here today. Moana is going to display a simple lie-down behaviour, and as you can see, this allows Debbie to check over her entire body, check for any lumps, bumps or anything unusual, check out those flippers and her little tail in the middle there as well, to make sure that Moana is looking very healthy. This is all part of what we call a daily physical exam, and it's the first thing that we do in the morning when we come in and greet our seals. Looks like Debbie is asking for a rollover behaviour from Moana as well, and you may have noticed that Moana didn't exactly complete this behaviour in the correct way, hence the lack of the whistle that you may hear from Demi. So as you can see, the way that we train our animals has a particular focus on positive reinforcement. So if we're seeing a behaviour that we want to see in the future, we'll follow it up with some juicy fish. But if we're seeing what we may call an undesirable behaviour, we'll simply ignore. We can ignore for anywhere up to 3 seconds, and from here we can either move on or ask the behaviour again to give the seal another opportunity at success. And of course, success means juicy fish. And you'll see just there as well that Demi was checking inside of Moana's mouth, so this is a really important step in the daily physical exam as well. We'll also check inside of their eyes, make sure everything is in working order, but of course those teeth are a really important part of being a seal, so we're going to make sure those gums are super healthy and there's no scales in those teeth as well. And it looks like Moana is going to head off behind the scenes. Thank you. Same specialist from the United States came down to check out Nelson's eye to see if it could be saved. Just like Saturday's, his eye was no longer in working order, but was still causing him a lot of pain. So it was also deemed in his best interest to have his eye removed as well. So Nelson is one of our one-eyed seals that we house here at SeaLife, but you'll see when Debbie comes out with Nelson that he is absolutely thriving here at SeaLife. And they are going to show you some examples of what we call high-energy behaviours. So these are, of course, very exciting for you guys to watch, but it's definitely great to keep in mind just how educational these behaviours can be to our guests, such as yourselves, to learn about the incredible abilities of these amazing seals, because they really are so impressive. And it's a great opportunity to see them in our care here, so you can get an idea of just how beautiful they are out there in the wild as well. And here is the beautiful Nelson. Hi, Nelson. You notice he looks a little bit different to Saturday and Moana in that he has a dark fur coat on his back, that beautiful light fur on his belly. This is known as counter-shading. But he's also showing off the beautiful out here on the land. So this is a really energy-efficient way that Nelson can travel, and of course his wild counterparts can travel through the ocean in the most efficient way possible. So they're able to take a breath in as they leap out of the water and breathe out once they're underwater as well. So this helps them to not only travel long distances, but of course it helps them to outrun their predators as well. But as I did say, we are going to be showing you some very impressive behaviours, such as Nelson's backflip. As I said, this is an example of a high energy behaviour, and this is another really great way that we can keep our seals in their top peak physical condition. Of course, it's our job to uphold their welfare here in human care, makes them feel a lot more comfortable in being somewhat out of their comfort zone. And that is a beautiful chest stand from Nelson there. So Debbie and Nelson have been working together for many, many years. But Nelson's primary trainer, her name is Sarah. Primary trainers, it's basically their job to know everything about their seal. All of our trainers train all of our seals, but the primary trainer knows all there is to know about their seal, trains any new behaviours, and from here passes off those new behaviours that they learn onto other trainers as well. So these high energy behaviours that we're seeing here with Nelson and Demi, the back flip and the chest stand, are behaviours that Sarah has just passed off to Demi and that Demi is practicing here with Nelson. But of course, Nelson was a rescue seal. He is a great ambassador for his wild counterparts, and he would love to spread a really important message whilst we've got you all here in our stadium today. There are a lot of threats facing these beautiful animals out there in the wild, and they're not just their natural threats. A lot of them are human-induced, and one of those threats is marine pollution. Marine pollution is something that is very hard to tackle, for sure. There are a lot of ways that we can easily help in limiting the amount of waste that's ending up in our oceans, whilst those really important organisations are working super hard to clear what's already out there. So when it comes to reducing, reusing and recycling, Nelson is going to give you a little bit of a demonstration. If you ever see any rubbish where it doesn't belong, follow Nelson's example. Check to see if you can recycle it and go ahead and pop it on in the right bin. I think Nelson deserves a round of applause. That was a beautiful demonstration. Thank you very much, Nelson. That's perfect. That's exactly what I was going to ask. Perfect. A beautiful vocal and a big goodbye from Nelson here this afternoon. It's a very unique vocalisation. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining. It'll take you about 20 to 30 minutes for your photos to be ready, so you're hanging out there, you can kind of look around. The most important thing though when we go into the photo today is that we aren't touching a seal. So we are just sitting next to them, getting a photo. So you'll take a photo keeping your hands on your lap, and you have a little one that's on your lap.
அகில நீங்க போட்டோ எப்படி எடுக்கிறாங்கன்னு பாருங்க. பாரு நம்ம முடிய வரைக்கும் விடுவோம். ஜானோ அவங்க எப்படி எடுக்கிறாங்கன்னு பாருங்க. எடுக்கக்கூடாதுன்னு நினைக்கிறேன்.
அது ஆள் இருந்தால் வந்து காமிக்குது.
மல்லாக்க வருது.